Hello, everyone. Greeting to all of you from Birmingham, England. First of all, I would like to thank you, Bante Sumita, who invited me to come back to this program again, Dhamma USA. I have mentioned last time that if I have a chance to come back again, I would like to talk about the host mind and the visitors, which is one of the very important subjects that the Buddha have talked to us, have told us. So before I go into the detail of the host mind of this subject, I hope that you all have a chance to watch my previous video clip, okay, my two previous sessions that I have given you the basic knowledge about the 5 components that make up of this life form, okay. If you are interested to know about this subject, the 5 component of this life form, okay, I have talked about it in this booklet, okay. You can download it for free, okay, from my website, or you can email me and then I can send you a copy in PDF formats. Okay, so in this book, it will give you the very basic concept of the teaching that I deliver to my student, all the analogy about Tom and Jerry, about your mental self, which is a true self, all these things. It is very important for you to understand my terminologies before you can really grasp the full benefit of my teaching. If you don't know, what Tom and Jerry is, it will be very difficult for you to understand, what's going on. Okay, so this book will help you to understand the basic concept and my terminology, because I use a lot of analogies, personification, talking about the inner elements that make up of our mind and consciousness, okay, which is all non-physical, and it is very difficult to understand. So with this kind of analogies, it can help you to understand better. Right, so we are going into this subject about the host mind and the visitors. So please allow me to share the screen with you. If you get used to with my teaching style, I always use, lots of illustration and analogy or the example to help you to relate to our inner elements. Before I move on to the subject, I would like to remind you about this human life form that I use this prop to represent a human life form, which we have the physical body, the mind, and the spirit, which is our consciousness, okay, which in here represent with this red bit here, okay. So our mind is made up of our thoughts, memories, and feelings, okay. And so I give the analogy for this part, thought, memories, and feelings, as Jerry, whereas our mental self will be Tom. So you got Tom and Jerry, okay? And then Jerry is the carrier of all problems, which I have elaborated, in the previous 2 sessions already. Okay, so Jerry is the carrier of all problems which come to attack Tom, okay, or a mental self, which is also a true self, okay? And this is the beginning of all the problems in the world, really. So this is the coverage of the 4 noble truths that I already talked about. Right, today will be the continuation, okay, of this concept, of this basic concept that I have talked about. So what I do, I will share the screen with you so that you can see what's going on. Right, the subject today is the host mind and the visitors. So before we get into the non-physical component, which we cannot see, okay, which we cannot, perceive with our 5 senses, okay, I will try to start with something physical first, to help you to understand, to have a clear idea first that what involved. Okay, so I will normally start with this picture, and I will ask the question that, what is the most obvious thing that you can see in this picture? Right, I know that I'm not in front of you, but you're just on the other side of the screen. So the question is still the same. What is it the most obvious thing that you can see in this picture? I can guess the answer. You would say that, okay, the most obvious thing you can see could be the rainbow, it could be the sun, the raindrop, the cottage, the mountain, all these things. Okay, so this is the most obvious thing that you can see. And then the next thing that I'm going to ask you, okay, let me take this share screen out, and then I come back again. I come back to that picture again. Okay, what is the most obvious sound that you can hear at the moment? Okay, what is the most obvious sound? Tuning the energy. Okay, right. The most obvious sound that you can hear right now is either my voice, okay, or some of you may say that is the sound of the tuning fork. Okay, we're balancing the energy at the same time. This is the most obvious sound that you can hear. Now, the next thing that I like you to spot, look into my background. What is the most obvious thing that you can spot right now? Okay, so the answer could be, okay, the flower, the picture, the flowers, the vase there, the picture there, the shelf here. Okay, right. We come back to this picture again. Come back to this picture again. And then my question is that, I know that the obvious thing is the rainbow, is the sun, this and that. My question now is that, what is it that you miss seeing in this picture, or right in front of you on this screen? The entire screen, okay? What is it that you miss seeing? The first time hearing, okay, my student were trying to find out, oh, what is it that I'm missing? Oh, maybe the bush behind the hut, maybe that 2 trees, maybe the cloud, maybe this and that. And this answer is no. The answer that I'm looking for, okay, maybe some of you already spot the obvious that you miss seeing. Okay, I give you the answer. The answer that I'm looking for is the space. Okay, the picture of the rainbow, or this, you know, the green picture, including the screen of me. These are the obvious things that you can spot. But the not obvious, in fact, once you know it is obvious, okay, the space, the blank space, the white space behind is the part that, in fact, it is obvious to me, but people mostly miss seeing. Now, listen carefully, okay? What sound is it that you miss hearing? What sound is it that you miss hearing? Of course, you hear all this sound. You hear my voice. I think that's just about it now. But there is a sound that you miss hearing. Some of you got the answer. The sound of silence, right? The sound of silence. In the same way, the background here, okay? You see the flowers. What I'm going to ask you the same question. What is it that you miss seeing? What is it that you miss spotting? you spot the obvious. The obvious is the flowers, the picture, this and that. But what you miss spotting is the what's it? The space. The space is what you miss spotting. Okay, so from these 3 examples that you can understand, quite physically, okay, I'm going to lead you into something non-physical now. That is, we are going to delve into, okay, we're going to delve into our mental state now. So what happened is that I'd like you to distinguish 2 elements. There is an element of the host and the element of the guest. Okay? There is the host. The nature of the host is that the host is always here. Always here. The host has the more permanent nature. It's not more. The host has the permanent nature. It's always here, always have, always will. Okay? And then you also have the nature of the guest. The nature of the guest is that the guest comes and then the guests go. The guests have this changing nature, come and go. Like all the words on the screen here that I wrote down, host always there, all these. I can delete it in no time at all, right? I can just delete them. But the blank white space in the background, acting as the host always here. But the words, they are the guests can come and the guests go. Likewise, the sound of silence is the host, always here, okay? But the guest is the sound. See, the sounds come and the sound go, comes and go. When the sound disappears, what there behind is the sound of silence. In fact, the sound of silence can be quite deafening, but we don't hear it. Normally we don't hear. Likewise, here, everything here in this room, we spot the obvious, this and this and that and this and that. But the thing that we miss spotting is the space, okay? It's the space. So what happened is that, now once you understand all this physical thing, we are going to connect with the non-physical here within. So what happened on the night of the enlightenment of the Buddha? The Buddha found out that every single human being has the nature of the host mind all the same. All the same. This has nothing to do with any kind of belief system, including religious belief. Even though you are Buddhist, it doesn't mean that you're Buddhist, you got the host mind. If you're a Christian, you're a Jew, you're a non, you're atheist, you're Islam, you don't have the host mind. No. Every single human being have the nature of the host mind all the same. All the same. That host mind, sometimes I have already introduced this word, your mental space, right? So this is the nature of the host mind. And who is the guest then? Can you guess? Okay, this is it. Jerry is a mental guest. Jerry is the mental monologue, talking in the mind. It could be anything, black sheep or all the intellectual knowledge. All the thing that is, yapping in your head. This is so classed as Jerry, which we got 4 types of Jerry. Jerry it doesn't mean that it's all bad. No, nothing like that at all. Okay, Jerry can be any color. I don't have the picture in here. Okay, all right. All the intellectual knowledge, even spiritual knowledge, as long as you are talking, you got this talking in your head. These are all Jerry, and Jerry acts as the mental guest. Okay, so what happened on the night of the enlightenment of the Buddha? The Buddha suddenly, he found out that, oh my God, I don't know whether he exclaimed like that or not. Okay, he said that, oh, every single human have the nature of the host mind all the same, but people don't spot it because the more obvious, okay, that people spot in their within is Jerry. Jerry is the obvious part. It's just like, you know, like this picture, the rainbow, the heart, the, you know, the sun, the raindrop, all these things, the mountain, everything. This is the mental gas, because mental gas is made up of what? Thought, memories, and feelings. Okay, all this mental gas is Jerry. Okay, there can be really colorful, especially the pink Jerry, the white Jerry, intellectual knowledge, you know, can be really powerful, can be so colorful. And this is the part that people spot it. Okay, people spot it. And don't forget that we are dealing with the non-physical. We are dealing with the non-physical within the enclosure of this body, of this physical body. Okay, and this make it extra hard, extra difficult for us to see, for us to spot. So that's why without the enlightenment of the Buddha, you know, to disclose this fact to us, we don't know. We don't know. And this part of the knowledge is really universal. It's nothing to do with the Islam or Buddhism. This is the universal knowledge, because it's applied to every single human being. Okay, so every single human being, regardless of who you are, what color skin, what color hair, color eyes, what nationality you have, what kind of religion you have, political system you have, it doesn't matter at all. Every single one of us, we have the state of the host mind, or we have the mental space, all the same. Even though it is visible to those who know, okay, but it is non-visible. It is just not obvious to the people who don't know, we don't have to talk about, you know, within, all this component within, even the mental, the physical space like this. Okay, if I don't talk about it, okay, people don't normally spot, come into the room, people spot, oh, the curtain is nice, oh, the wallpaper is nice, oh, that picture, I like it, I don't like the flowers, I don't like this and that, you know. But the last thing that the people will talk about is the physical space surrounding us, which is everywhere, surrounding us, encloses, you know, 360 degrees, but people cannot spot it. And this is about the physical space, the physical thing right in front of us. People cannot see it, not to mention the mental space, which is non-physical and within this life form. We stand no chance to understand any of this. We stand no chance to. Okay, although we have that kind of experience before, but it doesn't mean that we know what is what. Anyway, the Buddha, upon the enlightenment on that night, he spotted, and the Buddha have this ability, this capacity to deliver the knowledge, okay? To deliver the knowledge, and then I digest it, and then I deliver you into the modern language, So let's come back to this, that every single human being have the nature of the host mind all the same. And this nature of the host mind, you can know it as your mental space, of your inner peace, your silence, your stillness, your this and that when you do that meditation. We come back to that later. And then our mental guest is our mental talking, mental monologue that we keep on talking and talking and talking non-stop, and we don't know how to switch them up. But these are the guests. The nature of the guest is what? guests come and guests go. The guest is subject to the law of change, law of impermanence, law of change that the Buddha talked about. Okay, so what happened is that, let's see. Okay, so the guests, walk into our mental space only temporarily. It comes and then it will go. It comes and it will go. Okay, so I like you to see these two distinctive nature within human life form. Okay, we all have the state of the host mind, and then we have the state of the guest. The problem comes. You want to throw a party, okay? And then you invite 100 guests into your house, and you have a magnificent house. You got the swimming pool, you got this and that, really beautiful. And then you're such a generous guest, you got all the food. And this party just went on so well, and everyone, they all enjoy it. But on the guest, on the card, okay, that you invite people, you also said that the party start at 7 o'clock and end at midnight. Okay, midnight come now. All the guests, they know the place. Okay, goodbye. Thank you so much. You're such a wonderful host. All these things, But toward the end of the night, there are only 1 or 2 guests come to you. So that, oh, Super One, you are so kind. You're so good. Your house is magnificent. I would like to stay. We would like to stay. What's going to happen? Yeah, what's going to happen if the guests decide to stay at your house? Okay, refuse to leave. What's going to happen is that you're going to have Jerry enter your mind right away. I've been tired all day. I want everyone to leave because I want to rest now. Okay, because home is your territory. Your host mind is your mental home. Don't talk about, the care home, that kind of thing, okay? Mental self is your true self. So your mental space or your host mind is your territory, is the house, is the home where your mental self or your true self can reside. You can do whatever in the house, in your own home, in your own territory. Okay, but if there is only 1 guest or no 2 guests come and tell you, I want to stay in your house, of course, you're not very happy then. No, I want you to leave. Please leave. Leave me alone. I want to rest. Leave me alone. You want to rest. Can you see that? And this is what happened. This is what happened to a mental state. Our host mind, our mental space is the true nature of our life. Just let me use the fictional language. It's much easier, okay? Because all this is all non-physical, okay? We just use the fictional language. Okay, so we got the mental self, which is our true self, okay? And our true self got the home, and this home is empty. It's void. Void from what? Void from Jerry. So this is a very original mind that everyone has it all the same. Have it all the same. However, we also have our thought, memories, and feelings, which we need to function the life. I talk about this. It doesn't mean that Jerry is all bad. No, we need them, but we just need to understand them as well, that Jerry acts as the guest, only coming to our house temporarily to help us to function our life. We got to make plan. We got to do this and do that, do that work and this work, okay, planning all these things. We need to use Jerry. But once we finish with Jerry, we're supposed to purge Jerry, to dispose of Jerry. Okay, I used you already. Just go away. Okay, leave me in peace. This is what we're supposed to do. But because we are dealing with the guest that is non-physical, okay, trapped within our head and in our heart that we cannot see. And these guests, there are 3 against 1. So what happened is exactly like that example that I gave you earlier, that you got 1 or 2 guests coming to my house for a party after they're eating all these things, and refuse to leave home, to leave my house, to leave the host alone. This is exactly what happened, to a mental guest Our mental guest is the part that come into a house, invade a house. I can't say they invade, not always invade. We invite them to come so that we can use them, make use of them. And then when you finish with the guests, you're supposed to, okay, go away, Jerry. Dispose of them, okay? Dispose of them. But because we don't know all this non-physical nature that within our life form, that make life become difficult. In the sense that all these Jerry decide to take over our host mind, take over our home. Can you see that? You see that? So in this one, I use the analogy of the furniture. So Jerry is very much like, you know, our mental clutter is our mental furniture, exactly the same. I'd like you to see that our physical space is the part that gives us the physical freedom to roam about. Can you see that? When I move my hands along, I have the freedom to move my hands along because it is the space that gives me the freedom for my hand, you know, to move along. So the physical space gives us the freedom for our physical body, you know, to move around. But if you don't know that this physical space, you know, is so precious because it gives you physical freedom, you thought that, oh no, the room is just too empty. Let's go to IKEA, you know, and then we got this furniture. I like this, I like that, I like the wardrobe, I like the bed, I like the chair, I like the table. Okay, you buy all this furniture and then boom, 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 into the room. The first thing that you lose is what? Is your physical space. Okay, so the more furniture that you have, the more restriction that you can move. See, you cannot move into anything that got, you know, the furniture. Your freedom gone right away. Likewise, in the same way that your physical space gives you the physical freedom to roam about, your mental space gives you your mental freedom to live in peace. This is very important piece of message we must know, which will make our life much easier. Because we are dealing with something that we cannot see. So what happened is that right now, across the globe, is that humanity what happened is that the host mind of the individual person across the globe been taken over by their very own mental guest, which is Jerry, taken over by their own mental furniture, or Jerry, okay? And they cannot dispose of all this mental furniture. They can't do it because they can't see it and trapped within inside his body. That's why on the night of the enlightenment of the Buddha, when the Buddha found out that, oh my God, everyone that all have the mental space, the host mind that is all really peaceful, very calm, very still, very awesome, you know, very good, very good. Okay, but this host mind or the mental space has been taken over by the mental guest or Jerry. Okay, everyone is all the same. So the Buddha come up with a what? With the solution. And that solution is come back to what? Come back to the four foundation of mindfulness, or bring your mental self back home. Okay, so how can we dispose of our mental furniture, you know, so that our host mind, our mental space can return? The answer is the four foundation of mindfulness, which is something that I taught in the last session. Okay, bring your mental self back home. So when you're focusing on your breath, on your movements, on your physical sensation, and then try to follow your, what's it called, you know, the golden rule, in not to drift away with Jerry. Use your breath, movement, and sensation as the anchor as the anchor, as the post, hold on to that. Okay, and really follow that golden rule. You will be able to dispose of Jerry or switch off Jerry. This is the way to how to switch Jerry off. Once Jerry is switched off, so what happened is that your host mind will return. As a matter of fact, your host mind or your mental space never left you, never have and never will. Okay, your host mind or your mental space is always with you. Always have, always will with you, but you cannot see it, you cannot spot it because you have too many mental furniture. So what you do is only just, dispose of Jerry, that's all. So can you see that every time that I say something, that I give you a topic of something, it will always lead back to the solution of clearing your mental clutters, or clearing your Jerry, or get rid of your Jerry. Okay, so that you can claim your mental space or claim your inner peace back. Okay, so I hope this subject, is clear for you, and it's very universal. So it doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be Buddhist to do this. So what you need to do from now on, how to switch off your mental clutters, is to practice the full foundation of mindfulness, which I call bring your mental self back home. And it's very important that you got to follow the golden rule. Jerry is the part that make your mind, fidgeting, go all over the place, the monkey mind, the sticky mind that you talk about. That is the role that Jerry play. So you got to use your breath, your movements, and your physical sensation as the anchor. Hold tight onto this one, okay? And then don't go along with Jerry. Every time that you drift along with Jerry, you must be aware of that, and then just cut the cord. Once you cut the cord, come back to your anchor, to your breath, your movement, your sensation again. Do this over and over. Once you do this over and over, Jerry will back off. Well, because Jerry, the nature of Jerry is that Jerry will come into your host mind only temporarily, okay? And then Jerry is subject to the law of change anyway, okay? It comes and go. But the problem is that when you come to deal with the pink Jerry, you are the one who tell Jerry that, oh, please don't go because I love you so much. That is the attachment that to something really nice, to something really attractive in here. It could be your wealth, it could be your fame, it could be anything that you love, clinging onto that thought, that kind of Jerry that I call pink Jerry, and you don't want to go. And then this pink Jerry create the clutter, will block the freedom, will take away your mental freedom that you don't know, because this part will create what they call the mental habits. Okay, you cannot choose to dispose of black Jerry and choose to cling on to pink Jerry because it's just so nice. It's just so nice to cling on to this, the thought of the fame, the wealth, I'm rich, I'm famous, I'm this, I'm that. Oh, I want to think about this, because no matter what kind of thought that you cling on, okay, you're going to create that bad mental habit of attachment. And then you cannot just choose to detach, okay, from the black Jerry and cling on to pink Jerry. No, you can't, because this is the entire bad habit that you have. So you got to learn to let go of whatever kind of Jerry, because Jerry is the guest that come to take away your mental space. Okay, take away your mental space. And then after this, what happened is that you can choose and pick. You choose and pick to use the certain type of Jerry. When the negative Jerry come to you, you say one thing, go away. And you don't keep any negative Jerry, okay, in your heart. But when you have the pink Jerry, okay, if it's the pink Jerry that is innocent, like childlike thing. I used to play hokey cokey with my student, okay, playing game. If you've got young children, you can invite pink Jerry into your life, because pink Jerry create this endorphin, make your body feel good, make you feel quite chirpy, which is good. So I say it this way, that when pink cherry come into your life, embrace them, okay? Make the most of it. But when pink cherry go away, according to the law of change, be wiser. Be wiser and let them go gracefully. Okay, don't cling on to it, but use them by all means, especially white cherry. White cherry is intellectual knowledge, which we needed. Okay, when I write all these books, all these things, I got to use white cherry or pink cherry. Okay, positive cherry, clear cherry. I got to use all this cherry. But the difference is that once I finish with all this thinking and writing and planning, I can dispose of Jerry. Go away, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry, but go away. Leave me in peace. Okay, leave me in peace in my mental space. This is how you do it. Once you can understand all this, you know, you can control your life just like, you know, just switch off the light switch like that. But before you can get to that point, you must invest. You must invest in the practice. The practice of the four foundation of mindfulness, vipassana, or bring your mental self back home. This is the reason why we must bring a mental self back home, no matter what, okay? Because, and then all these things that I have given to you, it's just very much like a guided wisdom to help you to understand why you must do meditation, why you must do vipassana, because to get rid of all these bad mental habits is quite a challenge. You really need to work on it, okay, to help you to understand. All right, then. There is one little thing that I must share with you. I want to bring in the word normality, which is quite important. Now that you know that on the night of the enlightenment of the Buddha found out the state of the host mind, or which is your inner peace, your mental space. This host mind is indeed the nature of nirvana. So the Buddha said that no happiness is greater than our inner peace, the same as the host mind. Nirvana is the best kind of happiness. Hence, nirvana is our inner peace. It's the tranquility within, the calm, the stillness, the silence, whatever label that you want to use, okay? But this has everything to do with the nature of the host mind that the Buddha have found out, okay, for humanity. And then he told humanity, this is a really big piece of message. So I want to connect with the word normality. It's very important. So basically, your host mind or nirvana is the true state of normality or sanity. This is true normality or sanity. It's very important that you know that. So judging from the Buddha's endorsement, host mind is true normality or sanity. And Jerry-infested mind is the state of abnormality or insanity. This is very important that you know, okay? Because if you don't know the true normality, there is no way that you can judge what is abnormality. If you are not really, truly have your true sanity, there is no way that you can judge that is insanity. Because a lot of insane people, they always think that they are sane. They are not mad, but you are mad. So this can be very confused. Can you see that? It can be very confused. I got this one. Yeah. So host mind, okay, look at the little man that stand out without any Jerry, black, pink Jerry, white Jerry, clear Jerry. That is the state of true sanity. That is the state of true normality, which the Buddha have achieved that on the night of his enlightenment, and Christ as well. Okay, they know the state of true sanity, true normality, true mental liberation. Okay, whereas if you have any kind of Jerry within you at all, that is the state of abnormality or insanity. But it doesn't mean that you got to be committed, okay? Because the level of abnormality or insanity, it can be very, you know, it can be the range, the spectrum, it can be quite wide. So what happened? Yeah, look at this picture, yeah. So the host mind is normality, okay? So let's say that the moment that you practice your meditation, and then you can anchor your mind, anchor your mental self, your mental eye with your breath, your movement, and your physical sensation, or with all this anchor. So let's say that without any Jerry at that moment, without any Jerry. So let's say that that is the moment of true normality. That is the moment of true sanity. But because this life form, we have Jerry, and Jerry is a big part of our life. We cannot get rid of Jerry. We can use Jerry, you know, in a positive way. So when Jerry comes, Jerry is the part that will swing us back and forth. Okay, swing to this side, we call suffering. Swing to this side, we call worldly happiness. And because people don't know the true normality, because the mainstream people don't know the state of true normality, therefore, they use this pink Jerry as the supposed normality. Can you understand that? As the supposed normality is a makeup normality. Okay, so this supposed normality, yeah, let's have a look. This straight line in the middle, when you have the innocent perception, when you are with the state of the host mind, HM is host mind. Host mind is innocent perception and normality. IP is innocent perception, okay? Host mind is the innocent perception or nirvana, which is the true normality. But because we got the Jerry, and this Jerry, you know, send us up and down this emotional spectrum, emotional scale, roller coaster, up and down. So we would go up, we call worldly happiness. You got all the joy and the fun, the excitement, but in fact, it's just easy to endure. And then you also got the downside Jerry, the black Jerry that, you know, send you down the spectrum. So you've got the suffering, the disappointment, the turmoil, the boredom, the grief, the pain, which is difficult to endure. It's difficult to endure. But when you are with your host mind, there is no enduring at all. You just be and relax. There is no endurance. Okay, so people get really mixed up. Can you see that without this really straightforward ruler that the Buddha gave us, a really straightforward ruler, there is no way for us to know what is real, what is not real, what normal, what abnormal. Okay, the people who are committed in the asylum, those are the complete madness, the complete abnormality. But we also live in a really, you know, abnormal world, okay, with the supposed normality. And that supposed normality is the worldly happiness. Okay, we use that graph that going up, or this picture. This is the supposed normality. This supposed normality cover the people who can, you know, get up in the morning and know how to responsible for themselves, take care of themselves, abide by the law, and then know how to go out and get a job and look after the family, themselves, all these things, you know, and can function the everyday life events according to the law, to the rule of law, according to the norm, okay, according to the basic morality. These are the supposed abnormality group of people who are the mainstream people, really, the mainstream population who know how to responsible for themselves. But this state of abnormality, it can fluctuate. Okay, so once you have your stress, worry, anxiety, all the way to depression, breakdown, to suicidal, this is, come back to this one. It means that your state of abnormality is the window downward, going downward, okay, until you get to the point that you've got to be committed, okay. So these are the different level of abnormality, but all this different level of abnormality, you won't know what is what without the state of true normality to measure with. Is it confusing? I hope it does make sense to you. So basically what happened is that the minute that you do meditation and bring your mental self back home and experience that inner peace, that tranquility, experience that host mind, that mental space, I like you to know that that is the state of true normality. There is no endurance in there at all. You just be. Perceive everything as they truly are, okay? And this is the state of true liberation, and the state of true normality, okay? I hope it really makes sense to you. Okay, let me come back to this. Yeah, so once you know this, so this is your mental self without any Jerry taking you over. I like you to know that this is the state of true normality. Now, once you know the true normality, you will from now on spot the abnormality now. Even all these things, no matter what kind of Jerry that come in, okay, you will begin to know, oh, okay. So what you're supposed to do is that use Jerry if you must. We have to use Jerry by all means, okay? To function alive, to get through alive, we got to use Jerry. But the whole point is that once you use Jerry, finish with Jerry, dispose of it, and then come back to your host mind, come back to your true sanity, come back to your true normality. This is what you need to do. Okay, that's all there is to it. Okay, but if you find it difficult to dispose of Jerry, especially the negative, the dark Jerry, you know what to do. Bring your mental self back home. Okay, you've got to really work on this mental skill until you are able to dispose of Jerry at will. Okay, once you can do that, wow, life is a bonus and enjoyable, because the innocent perception of nirvana or God or normality, sanity, right in front of you, right in front of everyone all the time. Okay, but we cannot see it because people spot the obvious. People only spot the obvious, okay? And that obvious is Jerry, especially the pink Jerry, the white Jerry, intellectual knowledge, all these things. It can be very powerful, very attractive, and then cause you want to attach to them instead of detach or let them go, and creating this very bad mental habit, which is bad news, no good. Right, so today is the subject of the host mind and the mental guest, including the state of normality, sanity. Okay, so you can see that all this state of mind is always come back to the state of nirvana or the state of Godhood, talking about the same thing. And then the solution is always come back to Vipassana, bring your mental self back home, or the full foundation of mindfulness. So I hope you enjoy this session today and understand all this guided wisdom and know exactly what to do to claim your host mind back. Okay. And then I hope that Bhante Sumita will have me back again. And next time I will tell you another topic, maybe about the sixth sense, which is quite important. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Goodbye.